Well, hey there, everyone. It's GG Sober Sun. December 8th. AA thought for the day. The length of time of our sobriety is not as important as its quality. A person who has been in AA for a number of years may not be in as good mental condition as a person who has only been in a few months. It is a great satisfaction to have been an AA member for a long time, and we often mention it. It may sometimes help the newer members because they may say to themselves, if they can do it, I can do it. And yet, the older members must realize that as long as they live, they are only one drink away from a drunk. What is the quality of my sobriety? We were just talking about that at my old home group I went to this morning, that, some older members who have been around a while, and the topic was basically principles before personalities, and how some of the older members who have been around a while can make us laugh or sound so cocksure of themselves about how to work the program, and they get kind of a following of newer members, and how that isn't a very, like, if somebody's funny, especially, right, if they're funny and get everybody laughing in the room kind of thing, sometimes from shock of what the person has said, it doesn't mean they have good sobriety. And especially the ones who mention how much time they have all the time, it's like, ugh, please stop saying that. Because I wouldn't want your sobriety for anything. Or the ones that are proud of not doing a fourth step or something like that. I never worked a fourth step, but they do fifth steps in the meetings all the time. In other words, they say inappropriate things. They say things that would only be appropriate with a sponsor, right? And so it's important to know that it's not the time, it's the quality. And I was talking with another AA member after the meeting about how she knew someone who, after 25 years of sobriety, decided they didn't need AA anymore. And I thought, that is so sad that somehow people, like, the notion that we could graduate from AA when, because of our circumstances, we are invited into a fulfilling life of service, and we are uniquely qualified, those who have drank ourselves into a hopeless state of mind and body, to help others who have drunk themselves into a hopeless state of mind and body, right? So it's important that we keep coming back and that the person with 30 years sobriety is equal to somebody just walking into the rooms, right? That it's not the highest. I was in the military for over 24 years. And I'm so grateful that in AA, the highest rank we can go is sober. And I have learned so much from newcomers. It's just like, and I think that takes humility, but I wouldn't know. Because I'm not generally very humble. But I keep coming back a day at a time. And there are times when I haven't come for, a couple of years in early sobriety. When my year 2 through like 6. So for 4 years, I may have attended 1 or 2 meetings. And as I've shared before, thought I had graduated spiritually. And it's not something, it talks about it in it. I'm not sure where. It talks about it in the big book. It might be in one of the stories in the back. It says the AA program is not something that can be over and done with. It's so deep that it can keep anyone, occupied for a lifetime of research and practice and so on and so forth. So it's a lack of humility, I think, to say that I don't need AA anymore. It's crazy. But what is the quality of my sobriety? If I think I'm going to graduate, it's not a good quality. It's not a lasting sobriety, right? Because it lacks humility. Meditation for the day. This is a quote from the really big book because it has a ye in it. So bear with me. And greater works than this shall ye do. I believe that's in the book of Matthew. We can do greater works when we have more experience of the new way of life. We can have all the power we need from the unseen God. We can have His grace, His Spirit to make us effective as we go along each day. Opportunities for a better world are all around us. Greater works can we do, but we do not work alone. The power of God is behind all good works. And all this mention of God, I think, I interpreted that in my first, I would say, my second year of sobriety to kind of, I interpreted that to mean all of this is pointing toward church rather than a relationship. And I got faked out, right? Yes, we are encouraged to enlarge our spiritual program for sure, but it doesn't mean become team church, right? And I was team AA, now I'm team church. It's all about relationship and that ability to see the power of our higher power shine through in how He takes what seemed like an abject failure from my drinking and put it to good use in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, trudging the road of happy destiny, shoulder to shoulder with other fellow travelers of the spiritual path, right? That's not, it's like I needed to drink myself into a hopeless state of mind and body to where I was be reasonable. It says alcohol somewhere. Alcohol beat us into a state of reasonableness where we were receptive to spiritual concepts, right? And so that's hugely important. The power of God is behind all good works. Yeah. Otherwise it's selfish. It's self-serving for me to serve others so I can feel superior. Right? If I'm being led by the God of my understanding, then, and that sounds self-serving as well, but what it really means is into evangelical terms, I guess, a personal relationship with God, right? Where I'm listening to the voice of God's guidance and instruction, and acting on that guidance and instruction. And that it doesn't have to be some grandiose gesture of benevolence. It can be something as simple as, hey, shake that guy's hand. He's really down. Make a connection. Right? And it's so, and when I have been led like that, which I hope I am on a daily basis, I find that I can't take credit for it. You see? It's just like, wow, look what God can do. It's amazing. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may find a rightful place in the world. I pray that my work may be made more effective by the grace of God. It's kind of, see, that sounds kind of cart before the horse. Like, if God is motivating me, if I am acting out of my true identity, the name that God gave me, and listening to his voice and him saying, shake that guy's hand, and then acting on that, rather than getting it all up in my head and say, he looks grumpy. I don't think I can tolerate a grumpy person this morning. That kind of thing. Who knows until you stick out your hand? That's fear and disconnectedness. So God does for me what I cannot do for myself or will not do for myself. And so that is a life beyond my wildest dreams. They told me that in the early days, and I didn't believe them. I thought they were trying to go over the top with the selling of AA membership kind of thing. And it's so funny. It's so funny. I don't have to stay there. But I wouldn't have asked for connection. I want to be a more connected person. But that's the most fulfilling thing about life, is to be connected to everyone, knowing that every individual is God's gift to the world, literally, in their true identity. And this morning we spoke of people being grumpy and boorish in how they share and things like that. It was about the 12th tradition, principles before personalities, and how some people didn't like some guy and his birthday was coming up and he said he was going to tell his story, and everybody was like, well, I'm not coming, behind his back, of course, right? But one of my long-term sponsors said, whenever I get that gut feeling like, oh, it's so-and-so's going to share, I want to get up and go to the bathroom at that time. I want to get up and get a cup of coffee or go grab something out of my car at that moment to save myself from having to listen to that person. He said, but what I do is I use that urge to help me focus in on what they're saying and listen for the similarities rather than the differences, right? Because I know I've had that feeling. It's like, if I really hone in and I look at them and I turn my body toward them as they're talking, it may encourage them to talk longer. And, oh, I don't think I could tolerate that. But again, that's me going to AA for what I can get out of it, right? Or for what, like I come to AA meetings to be entertained. Each meeting that I come to is an opportunity to see the power of God in people's lives. It's the bright spot in my life, as it says in Working with Others, the chapter Working with Others. So keep coming back. It works if you work it. And it's no more work than feeding yourself. That's been my experience. Thanks for letting me share, y'all. Keep coming back. Look up. Aim up. Rise up. Love ya.